Welcome to the McKenzie Video Library. In this edition, World Champion Shane Smith introduces his bird bodies.
I'm Shane Smith, and I'd like to explain to you a bit about this line of bird mannequins that I've developed. Over time, we've used a lot of different commercial mannequins, and I've had the opportunity to work with many people, either training them or working alongside with them, to see the struggles that many of you have with trying to get the feathers in the right place and all the variables that are involved with bird taxidermy. I like to use a free system, and what I mean by a free system is when I make cuts on commercial mannequins, I like to change them up to where I have hip mobility and flexibility with wing positioning. After all these years of alterations and changes, I felt it was time to construct a product that worked not only for my system, but I feel would help people to mount a faster bird, a more accurate bird, and a bird that would give them more freedom in their poses. So what I've done is I've created areas on a mannequin with a design we have where basically we have a free hip rotation, a free design where normally on most mannequins you go in and you lock into position where your leg wire would go, let's say on a flying pose. And also on the wing position, you have a locked position. On many commercial mannequins, I always had trouble with it being too heavy here for a flying pose. And when a bird flies, it's like with the muscle structure, the pectoral muscle structure. When they extend their wings, the pectoral muscles expand. And in a natural standing posture, when the wings are folded, you have a heavier, more dense and droopy chest. And I found that the trouble most have is with this extra heavy chest that's developed on most mannequins. This area here, called the scapular region, tends to have problems because you have such a deep chest that the scapulars tend to rise up and they really won't lay flat like on an actual flying bird. So what I've done is I've relieved some of this area as an actual flying bird would be by stretching out the pectoral muscles, so it gives you a wider chest. And I've created a lock point on the corner of these mannequins to where the actual flight web, it's a rubber band type tendon that attaches from here to here. Many commercial mannequins and forms are rounded in this area. There's no structure based in this area. So with the triangulated point that I've created, we're able to take and pin this into a location to where you can get freedom and mobility to move your wing, and the flight web stays nice and stretched. And you have this nice oval shape to the front of the mannequin, which gives you the freedom to where your pockets roll over the side pockets, and the scapular feathers lay in this trough right behind the humerus bone as they are supposed to. Another point is the deep neck trough here. Many of the commercial mannequins in the past, due to molding reasons, have had shallow indentations to demold from. I've actually gone to where the fixed cervical vertebrae starts on these mannequins or on an actual bird and opened up this depression pretty wide. As you can see, it's got a deep area. And this is so you can place your neck in there and you've got movement. And even on the bottom, if you need to drop your neck down into the mannequin, it gives you that freedom to where you're not so tight. And you can see this pivotal point on the neck. When you are skinning a bird, please take note that if you'll look at to where the cervical vertebrae begins, there's a good 1.5 inches, sometimes inch, depending on the size of the bird, of area from here to here. So what this does, it allows you to get many different shapes out of your neck, accurate shapes. If you want the bird to be coming in, it gives you an area here on the bottom to where the neck can drop down. And you'll find that once you've locked your skin into these points, your side pocket stays exactly where it's supposed to. And I have a real nice wide chest There's basically no reason for feel to be applied in these mannequins other than if you would like to apply some kind of caulk, because once the pocket lays on here, there's no need in additional feel. And that's another luxury of these mannequins. And another point that I'd like to stress on this mannequin is the free hip rotation. What I really like about this is it gives you the freedom to move this hip area to whatever pose that the bird would like to be in or you'd like to put it in. In older conventional mannequins, you usually have a basic one lock point on a mannequin. Well, with this system, you lock point with the hip. The actual hip bone is not used. I use a small straw to simulate that area here to give you an accurate location to where to bend it, to bend your wire. And this gives you the full flexibility to move your legs up into your body, drop them back as if they're flying in a streamlined position, or if they're coming in to land, you can get the legs away from the body and do some really neat radical things. And one thing it also does is in this area of the tail, many mannequins are heavy here, and this gives you all the freedom of your skin to work with it, which is vital in skin taxi and accuracy once you put your bird on the mannequin and wire it and start posing it. And I also have an area here on the tail that you can take a knife and cut this section out, and your tail quills will slide right in there for an accurate tail location set. Sizing and ordering for your birds is something that I know many people are stuck on numbers. You know, this mallard is X inches long by this big around. That's a good rule to go by, but bird sizes vary greatly due to body mass and fat structure. One thing that these mannequins have is the versatility to fit many other bird species. This mannequin, which is a redhead mannequin, will fit a greater scaup, will fit a small black scoter, a small surf scoter. That's very important if you're ordering mannequins to maybe have a few sizes to fit various birds. It's okay to put a certain size mannequin in another bird if it's within the parameters of that bird's actual size. So I find when I mount birds that sometimes I would get a small canvasback. If I have a large canvasback mannequin, it doesn't quite fit that body. You can actually take a small redhead body and apply that to a small canvasback, let's say for a flying position, and it will still fit nicely. And the same goes with the different sizes of standing mannequins as well. The standing wood duck will fit a merganser or a mandarin duck. So don't be afraid to slide one of these mannequins in to another bird, and if it feels good for a flying pose, etc., it'll be okay to use. And another thing that I've wanted to accomplish is different sizes and variations for the species. For example, wood ducks, small, medium, and large helps you to size those birds, because we run into a lot of very small wood ducks that don't really fit the mannequins well. You'll find that on the flying mannequins, even if it's a tight fit, which totally goes against anything I've ever done or used in the past, the skin still fits well on this mannequin. In the past, I've used 2 to 3 inches of extra space when sizing my birds to get feather placement and accuracy with fillers. But again, these bodies don't need extra fillers, so keep that in mind when you're sizing and ordering for these bird mannequins. I'm confident that this system will not only save you time, but you'll have a better looking bird with the flexibility to get unique poses that you desire. These mannequins were created for creativity purposes and with our everyday work here at our studio to get us through our day in a faster, more manageable period of time. With the hip rotations, the wing set and the shoulder lock positions, the deep neck clavicle, the flying shape, the expanded pectoral muscles in the right place. The side pocket placement will give you optimal time to get your bird to where you want it. It makes things so much easier, and I'm so confident in it. I feel you'll have a very good and successful product when you're complete. And we'll have tutorials coming up talking about the various applications to standing and flying birds.